Oh, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of First Canada Live, a show where we get together to talk robots, talk everything good in the first community. It is going to be a great show tonight. We got a lot of exciting guests, but as Canadians, it is important to recognize the land of which we are a part. As we gather for this meeting, physically dispersed and virtually constructed, let us take a moment to reflect on the meaning of place, and in doing so, recognize the various traditional lands on which we celebrate today. We acknowledge the elders and youth, past, present, and emerging, of all the land on which we work and live. We honor the ancestral spirits with gratitude and respect. We acknowledge this land out of respect for the indigenous nations who have cared for Turtle Island, also called North America. The indigenous people have been gifted the role of caretakers of this land before the arrival of settler peoples until today. But most importantly, we remember the history of these lands and people that have been tainted by poor treatment and a lack of friendship with the First Nations who called Canada home before it was given this name. This history is something that everyone is affected by. We are all treaty people in Canada. We all have a shared history to reflect on, and each of us is affected by this history in different ways. Our past defines our present, but if we move forward as friends and allies, it does not define our future. All right, folks, you can't have a show without a co-host, so I'd like to welcome our Youth Council co-host from Team 22582, Guardians of the Allen Key. It's Nadja. How's it going?
Hey, it's going well. How are you?
Well, I am, this is like a little bittersweet time of year because I am like super, super excited about, FRC events coming up, but I'm a little sad because FLL and FTC are over right now. And I mean, they're still going to Worlds and they're still going to the premier events and the open events, but I'm a little bit, so like I'm at that with robot season. Also, I am tired of shoveling snow. Like I just
Oh
need it
yeah,
to all be gone.
same, same. And now that it's all melting and it's just like wet everywhere, not fun.
And ugly because like
Yeah,
at first snow is beautiful. Like everyone, when you see like a fresh coat of snow, it is like one of the most beautiful things you can see in this world. Like it's one of the great things about Canada. But after a couple weeks when it's just all brown and slushy and frozen, it's just like, oh my goodness, I need this all to go away. And like it also kind of reminds you of how much pollution there is because like all the pollution just kind of sits on the snow. It's like you don't see that normally. And it's like, oh my goodness, I'm
yeah,
breathing that.
I know. It's
Yeah,
a little confusing.
it's a lot to handle. It's a lot to handle. But hey, we got good stuff to handle today, Nadja, because we have some great teams on here. We have one of the first Lego League Challenge Ontario Provincial Championship Champions Award winners, Team 52777 Solvers of X and Y are here. And we also have the first, oh, don't worry, Solvers of X and Y, don't come on yet. I'm just too early. See, I jumped the gun. I made them excited. We also have our first Tech Challenge Ontario Provincial Champion Inspire Award winners, Team 16413 Llewellyn Robotics here today. So lots to talk about. Folks, if you are tuning in live and you have any questions, you can post them in our chat and we'll do our best to answer them. But also, folks, remember, we're here to have some fun and celebrate excellence in our community. So we try and stay positive with all our comments in chat. Speaking of positivity, it is February. Some people have heard about the February blues. You can be a little bit down. So, Nadja, how do you maintain your mental health all year round, but especially at this time of year?
Yeah, something I love to do to keep my mental health up is to get some form of exercise in every day. So that can be playing a sport or just going for a walk. I love to play tennis on weekends just to give me something fun to work on that isn't schoolwork. And I also find that with my team, just going on walks during late nights when we're getting kind of frustrated with building our robot has been really helpful for us. It's made us closer as a team, I think. And it has also led to some great solutions for robot problems, just being outside of our stuffy little robotics room.
That's very cool because yeah, like sometimes just like a change of scenery, a change of pace really helps. I know when I'm working on any sort of tough project, just go out for a walk or a run and it really clears my mind. So I hear you're a tennis player. Who's your favorite tennis player of all time?
Ooh, okay. I love Nadal, and
Yep.
I'm also loving Sabalenka right now and Coco Gauff.
Okay. Sabalenka, she like a lot of people don't talk about her. Like when people list their favorites, a lot of people don't mention Sabalenka. I love Sabalenka. Her
Yeah,
game is
cool.
so good. It is
I know.
so cool. Um, I'm a Federer guy.
Okay,
Federer has
yeah.
always been my favorite. He's just so classy and immense. And like I get that Nadal and Joker passed him on the number of slams, but I don't know. I just love Federer's game,
Yeah.
especially when he was at
Watching,
peak form.
for
Sorry.
sure. Watching him can't be beaten.
Yeah, that slice and his backhand, and then I'm a bit older, but also was a big fan of Andre Agassi. His return game was just like nuts. And on the women's side, well, Andre Agassi's wife, Steffi Graf, who might be the best of all time. Serena, obviously, you can't, how
For
can you
sure.
not love Serena? And then always like Sharapova too. She just had like a great style about her. So I mean, sorry, this isn't a tennis podcast here, but I could just talk. Tennis is one of my favorite sports as well. So it's a good one. But hey, we got some news updates here. Hey, FRC teams, I know you're getting ready for your season and everything like that. Remember, you got a lot of vouchers with your Kit of Parts this year, so make sure you're redeeming those vouchers. Go have Lead Mentor 1 or Lead Mentor 2 log into the dashboard, download the list of vouchers. If you opted out of the Kit of Parts, there's $450 from Andy Mark. If you opted out of the Black Tote, 125 from Andy Mark, 125 from Rev. You want to make sure you take advantage of these. We still have a couple of First Canada scholarships that are still open for applications. The Skilled Trade Scholarship and the Indigenous scholarships are open. So if you are eligible for one of those scholarships or you know someone who might be, nudge them to apply. Apply while you can. And you can find out all the details at firstremarkscanada.org/scholarships, which is in chat right now. Our show schedule. We've been gone for a while. We haven't done a show since January, but don't worry, folks. Every week for the next few weeks, we are back doing event recaps. So next week, we will be recapping the Newmarket event. The week after that, we'll be recapping Niagara and Centennial. We'll take a 1 week break and then we'll have a mega recap where we do 4 in one show. So Tuesdays, turn on notifications, turn on, subscribe, hit all the buttons and whatever. Find us on Spotify, find us on Apple Music as a podcast. Just make sure you're tuned in. And then, of course, folks, the Ontario team Slack is still there if you need help figuring anything out. Maybe you're FRC getting ready for this season. Maybe you're an FTC team who wants to look ahead to next season, get some tips. Join the Slack group and ask your questions there. And of course, folks, if you want to take your First Canada Bronze Badge safety quiz, it's now available at the link popping into chat. And if you pass that test, you can pick up your badge at any First Canada FRC district event. And if you want to, FRC season's coming up. We're about to play. I'm almost forgetting the game name. Reefscape. See, I've seen Nadia. I'm thinking so much about Into the Deep. I can't think about Reefscape. But Reefscape's coming up. If you want to learn the rules of Reefscape, take the Reefscape quiz in chat. All right. Those are all our links. And folks, we are going to be back in just a moment with our first guest, Solvers of X and Y. But before we do that, let's take a look at a word from one of our sponsors, Hatch.
When I was applying for co-ops, I was really looking for a place that would allow me to have the greatest amount of experience. And since Hatch is such a big company, I knew that I would be able to get involved with all the different groups that the company offers.
What surprised me about working at Hatch was the amount of responsibility that you're given very quickly, once you start.
There's so many opportunities to learn, not just from specialists in the field, but also from something like Lunch and Learns, or even Safety Shares. So it's not something technical that I'm learning, but something that might help me in my everyday life.
For me to be able to just walk into their office and ask them whatever I want, to schedule a meeting whenever I want, to be able to work directly with them on building things was an insanely good experience.
As a student, I am as much valued as the other employees that are here.
I enjoy working here because people are very friendly, and this environment that they created has been more than absolute perfect.
All right, folks, we are back. Thank you to Hatch for their sponsorship and all their support of First Canada and our teams. Right now, I want to bring out our first guest of First Lego League Challenge team, 52777 from the Solvers of X and Y from Aurora. They are a community-based team from Aurora, uniting 10 passionate problem solvers from 9 schools across the GTA. Now in their 5th proud season, they're tackling ocean pollution with seaweed-based bioplastics, pushing the boundaries of robotics, research, and teamwork. Guided by first core values, they strive to be the solvers of the futures. All right, solvers of X and Y, come on board. And we have their coach, Dahai. How's it going, Dahai?
How's it going?
All right, let's get started. Let's introduce all the team members.
All right. First, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Dahai, and aka Mr. Pai. I'm the coach on the team. And here's behind me are the wonderful 10 team members of our solvers. I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Kingsley.
Hello, my name is Samuel.
Hi, my name is Renee.
Hi, my name is Sophie.
I'm Ryan.
Hi, I'm Chloe.
I'm Hazel. My name is William.
I'm Mason.
My name is Danny.
All right, solvers of X and Y, we are so glad you're here today. And I hear you have some slides and a little bit of a presentation for us, right?
Yes.
Shall we go through that and learn everything that you've been learning this year?
Yeah.
Gladly.
All right, let's take it away. Let's take a look at their slides.
Hi, we are solvers of X and Y team 52777, an Auroran community-based team, and we are so excited to represent Canada as in the World's Finals competition. So just to introduce our team again and our roles, I'm Ryan, the team leader. Sophie's our project manager. Hazel is our operations coordinator. William is our chief CAD modeler, and Renee is our chief product officer.
Chloe is our operation coordinator. Samuel is our chief builder and main technician. Kingsley is our chief programmer and main technician. Mason is our marketing communication, and Daniel is our game strategist. Next, we have our wonderful coach and mentors. We have our coach, Mr. Pai, or Dahai Zhang. He's our fabulous coach. We also have Ryan Zhang, our youth mentor, that is part of an FRC team.
So for this year's innovation project, we are introducing
Seaweed Bioplastics.
So this year, when deciding a theme related to a marine issue, we chose bioplastic as our innovation project for the 2024-2025 season. And over the course of several months, our team has gathered a ton of research and documentation on all of everything about bioplastic, the industry, and through experimentation, we were finally able to create a product made of entirely natural ingredients and seaweed, which is 100% biodegradable. This is really important to us because we really value sustainability, and we believe that this innovation will be able to help reduce our plastic emissions and our carbon emissions from petroleum usage. Through this project, I did not know that we would be able to do so much. Like through the winter break, we spent countless hours just compiling research on a business plan, as we really believe that this project could be a sustainable business model and integrated into society. And we also were able to communicate with tons of experts from a variety of fields, such as seaweed manufacturers, sustainability experts, petroleum company CEOs, and much more, which really helped us develop our soft skills and networking. So our mission with our innovation project is to tackle plastic pollution with a biodegradable seaweed-based bioplastic. So our prototype is actually entirely biodegradable in water, leaving zero pollution. And our goal is to replace single-use plastics and promote sustainability through STEM innovation. As we mentioned before, this is made of seaweed and natural plasticizers. And the reason we chose seaweed as an ingredient is because of how fast it grows and the sustainable potential of seaweed for carbon mitigation and other environmental impacts.
Introducing the wonderful Octobot.
Maybe jump to the next
We
slide.
can move on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our wonderful Octobot has 8 output mechanisms, uses Python 3 with PID, and also has a compact design, allowing it to squeeze through multiple tiny spaces.
Let's maybe jump to the next slide.
Initially, we designed attachments that are very compact and they easily slide on to our amazing robot right here. And we designed these attachments to accomplish multitasking, which makes missions faster to complete in a shorter amount of time. And this actually also makes our runs very efficient.
I just want to add, the team has been developing attachments throughout the entire season, and we've developed over 40 different attachments for all the various missions. We are very hardworking, and we'd love to come here during the break, during the winter break, whenever we have time, really. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you. Here are some of our social medias, such as our Instagram at FLL_52777 and our YouTube channel. And we also have a fundraiser, GoFundMe, linked in the slideshow there. We really would appreciate the support we could get from the funding, and this could really support our journey at the World Festival. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I have many questions because that was such a cool presentation. So let's talk about microplastics. I think this is such a great thing. It makes me so frustrated when I hear about, all the microplastics in the ocean right now. It is just like we have this beautiful planet, which is the giver of life to everything that we do, and we're slowly destroying it. And I understand that our society is very dependent on plastics right now. It's just everywhere. It's like I was frustrated just the other day because I've noticed that, you used to get like your, the flyers in the mail, and they just used to come, they're just paper, but now they come in a plastic bag. And I'm like, why are we even doing this or whatever? And it seems like we're not just going to be able to get rid of plastics overnight. So coming up with sustainable ways to replicate the functionality of plastics, I think, is amazing. And so I'd love to know why you chose this topic.
Every FLO season, the team comes together and watches the teaser trailer for the new season and starts brainstorming topics based on the FLL season. So everyone came up with ideas of various different marine issues, and we ended up choosing bioplastic as our innovation project, using a feasibility analysis and analyzing each innovation by several different criteria like cost, impact, and the opportunity to learn. So this is obviously it's an issue that resonates deeply within us, and everything you said is really true. Like, we are very dependent on plastics, yet we understand that it is extremely environmentally damaging. So we really think that this solution could help communities as well as reduce climate change. We've already begun creating a variety of products. So we've been demoing this throughout the presentation so far, but this is not just the final product. This can actually be used to create a variety of products like plastic bags, laundry pods, and different kinds of packaging. And that could really reduce the amount of plastic that someone will be using in their daily lives. And it's not just for the impact. We also believe that this is an amazing learning opportunity to get like hands-on learning experience, creating different kinds of projects. And we also learned a lot from talking to all of those different experts, which gave us some very insightful and important information.
Wow, that's a lot. Okay, I know, Nadia, you got some questions, but I got one more question on this because I'm so excited about this. So you mentioned you chose seaweed, and you alluded to something there about the carbon potential there, and I don't know is that like because by growing seaweed, it's also just good for the environment as well? Is that kind of what you were getting at?
Yeah, there are a multitude of environmental benefits that seaweed gives to our Earth. One of them is providing shelter and food to various marine animals, and growing seaweed can really increase the biodiversity in our Earth. And as you mentioned, the carbon sinks, and that's a great point. Compared to terrestrial plants or land plants, seaweed actually is 20 times more effective at sequestering carbon from the atmosphere. Yeah, and there are other environmental benefits like extracting heavy metals and toxins from the water, providing food to local communities, as well as a whole different aquaculture economy, among other environmental benefits. And that all links to why we chose this as the material for our bioplastic.
I don't know if you can see it on my face, but I'm just like, I love a good idea, and I love something that connects a lot of different areas. So like, not only would this be reducing plastic demand, it's actually helping our environment by diversifying our ecosystems, being a carbon sink. This is brilliant. You all are brilliant. This is amazing. Okay, I'm talking enough here. Nadia, you got a question for them?
Yeah. First of all, I just wanted to say that that project is amazing and so cool. But I was wondering, since competitions are so fun and you get to learn so much and really energizing, I was just wondering what it was like hearing your team name announced as winners at the competition.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a very exciting and a moment that we will definitely always remember. I think when they mentioned Team 52777, our first reaction was screaming and jumping and running and going to go high five the judges and the referees. I feel like we were all just so excited and happy in that moment, with emotions like tears running down our face while sprinting across the gym. I feel like it was just a great moment and we all had so much fun. And our hard work and our passion had paid off after 5 years. So I feel like when they announced our team name, we were all so excited and happy. And all our nerves that we had going into the judging session, doing our robot, they just like all were relieved and we were all so excited.
That is, yeah, like those moments, right? They're the special ones that everyone who's been a part of the robotics team, like not everyone's necessarily been on the ultimate winner or something, but everyone's had those moments when you hear your name called. And I'm so glad you had that excitement and we're having fun in all of that. And so I want to turn the attention a little bit to your robot. You talked about the Octo attachment system. Someone want to tell me a little bit like what's the cool thing that your robot can do?
Something cool our robot has is that it has 8 output mechanisms. So at first, we actually started with 2 output mechanisms. So 2 output mechanisms meant that the attachments will have to do all the gear transfers. That made all the attachments bulky and not able to be as good as maybe having gear transfers in the inside of the robot. Since having gear transfers on the inside of the robot can save less space. So we then had 4 output mechanisms by embedding gearboxes inside our robot. This made the robot be able to do missions that required like flipping on the sides, and it will fit in very tight spaces easily.
I'm just going to show the audience our robot. So here's our robot. We have 2 outputs in the front, 2 at the top, 2 at the sides, and 2 at the back.
And adding on to what Samuel said, after creating this robot, we actually realized this robot was extremely competition friendly, because no matter what FLL season, your robot's definitely going to turn left and turn right. So this robot can actually be a very good example, since we already have outputs on the sides. And this means we don't need to recreate our robot every year. And this means we get more time to solve more missions and get them like more accurate solved.
That is very cool. It's just like, and when you mentioned having 40 different attachments that you've brainstormed all the solutions, I guess with those 40 different attachments, how did you choose which ones to use?
So we actually first demonstrate all our attachments and how they work. And then we vote on some criteria like efficiency, time, accuracy, etc. And then what happens, our entire team, we make sure our entire team is included in this vote. And we say our reason why we like this attachment and why we should use it. And in the end, we end up with an attachment like this. It's very simple, easy to make, and it's very accurate, as you can see.
So adding on to what Casey said, we actually use a feasibility analysis table to see what attachments we could use for each mission. We also try to see like what missions we could combine together and what actions are required to complete these missions.
That is fantastic. I love the idea of using feasibility analysis because sometimes when you have to make hard decisions, there's so many criteria, and if you aren't systematic and mathematical about it, it can be a challenge. Najid, you got a question for the team?
Yeah, I'd love to know something that your team did for fun this year.
So I can think of many times when our team did fun things like pizza parties or sushi celebration. But one thing that really struck out to me was the basketball game. I remember that we came together as a team and played basketball together. I think it's a really fun opportunity to bond together as a team, while also practicing our communication and teamwork abilities, which we could use then on the judging sessions or on the field. And I think it's not only for those communication practicing, it's also for our team's well-being. You know, you need a healthy body and very happy to do anything basically. So I think it's pretty good for our team.
That's so neat. I think like one of the cool because like I think most people who've played a team sport knows like the communication is so essential and you learn it so quickly in there, especially a team sport like basketball where the ball's kind of always whipping around compared to like a baseball where it's like more like individual task based or whatever. So that's a really neat idea. How do you include core values in your team?
We incorporated core values into our team in our everyday actions. And Studio 2.0 is a great idea. This season, we've built over 40 attachments and using Studio 2.0 to organize and document all our wonderful ideas. Additionally, we also helped our junior teams by giving them some of our wonderful models to help mentor and give them inspiration by building their own attachments.
In addition to what William said, through FLL, I was exposed to many more leadership opportunities and experience as a project manager, strengthening my organization skills as well as problem-solving skills. And in addition to that, our team and I was able to help our coach mentor many other younger teams by sharing our knowledge and helping them navigate through issues that they may have. So through FLL, I was able to improve my communication, our communication, and also learn the importance of teamwork.
I think a way that our team includes core values is by welcoming new members. You might not know this, but this is actually my first year on this team and also my first year participating in FLL. And I'll admit, it has been quite a challenge fitting in and learning all these different techniques. But with the help of my team members, they've encouraged me and taught me so much over these past month and this year.
That's some fantastic core values right there. This is really cool. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit off script here, but I know your team also Solvers of X and Y. There is an FRC team. Are any of you involved with the FRC team, or are you at least going to be going out to watch their event this weekend?
So I'm part of this team, but I also allocate a lot of time working on the FRC team, Bubbles 10015. And I'm really excited to help that team. And the thing we do here is really cool. We have competition really soon, so everyone's working really hard to get documentation done, get the robot testing done, and it's just a very exciting moment for us.
Well, I can't wait to see some of you, hopefully all of you, at the FRC event this weekend, so cheering on Bubbles, and it's going to be great. Thanks so much for coming here. But I guess the most important thing is congratulations. Congratulations on an amazing season. Congratulations on qualifying for the first championship in Houston. For everyone in the audience, that's right. Bubbles was the first team from Ontario to qualify for Houston this year, and we're going to have talked to one of our FTC teams who's going. We're going to have a bunch of FRC teams who are going. But remember, I want all the Canadian teams who are watching today, make sure you go by Solvers of X and Y's pit at the championship. Say hello, cheer them on. I can't wait. And if I don't find you, you have to find me in Houston. Can you make that deal? Can we do that?
Got it.
Awesome. That's so great. Thank you so much, Solvers of X and Y. And Dahai, thank you so much for supporting these youth and giving them the opportunities. You do a great job with that program. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Cassie. I was looking forward to
Thank you
see
so
you
much.
there. Yeah, very soon.
All right. Good luck in Newmarket. We'll see you there. All right. That's a team who's having a lot of fun. Really, really love them. And we are going to be back in just a moment with our FTC team and recap of provincials after a word from one of our sponsors, Magna. All right, we're back. Doing some weird things with my camera here, folks. Sorry for a little bit of a delay right there. Nadia, I was blown away by Solvers X and Y, right? Like,
Yeah, me too. That was crazy.
the project is just the coolest thing. Like,
right?
Solving so many problems. Like, it would just be cool if someone did a project about growing seaweed to help our underwater ecosystems and to do carbon stuff. But then to harvest that seaweed and use it in a way to address such a major and then they had like a prototype. They had like a thing. This is this isn't just like a concept,
Like, yeah, it's crazy.
And they are ages 9 to 14.
Yeah, insane.
Like I definitely, when I was, ages 9 to 14, I didn't know what a project manager was. That's for sure. But more so than all of that, like they were just fun and excited, and the core values. I'm so glad they're representing Canada and Ontario at Worlds. I think they are the perfect folks to do that. But we're going to shift gears a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit about the World of First Tech Challenge, which I know you are a participant in. And we had some great teams at the provincial championship, and 4 teams are advancing to Worlds. So here's who they are, and we have one of them coming on. Team 16-4-13, Lowell and Robotics. They were first place Inspire, and they were the overall event winners. Team 19-8-36 Hawk was on the winning alliance with Low Ellen, so they're also going to Worlds. And then our second and third place Inspire Award winners, 18-8-44 Proteins and 19-500 Robertics, all heading to Worlds. But we got one of those teams right here. They are on your screen right now. Want to welcome Inspire Award winners at the provincial championship, heading to the first championship in Houston, Team 16-4-13, Lowell and Robotics from Sudbury. How about you folks introduce yourselves?
Well, how's it going? My name is Peter for all of you. I'm the team captain, lead programmer.
Hi, my name is Sam. I'm the lead design and as well as a human player for Team 16-4-13.
Hi, my name's Sareem. I'm the lead outreach.
Hi, my name's Henry. Hi, I'm Arian's Cocoon and mentor and alumni.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And so let's just talk a little bit what happened at this event, because this was a cool one. I spoke to many, many teams. So first of all, we need to talk about the history of FTC in Ontario, where we've been fortunate to have 2 of the best teams in the world, Hawk and ROC, competing for years. ROC's had won 4 straight provincial championships. Hawk had won 2 straight provincial championships. They often play together. And a lot of people were coming into this event being like, well, we can't possibly win because they're going to win, which is a testament to how great those teams are. And like, I just want to give them a round of applause. But I think they've also done something. They've inspired so many teams to try and be better and to reach above. And you probably, I don't know what you did when you got your match schedule, but I'm guessing you might have been like, oh my goodness, we have to play both of them? Was that the reaction?
Yeah, it was definitely something along those lines, looking at the schedule there, looking at who we were with and who we were against, definitely facing a little bit of a challenge there. We were up to it, but it was definitely thinking, what are we going to do with this? How is this going to pan out?
And I am not certain, but I'm close to certain that all season long, they never lost a match unless they were playing each other. And so, it's intimidating. Like Nadia, you've played against them or you've heard of them, so you know what it's like. But then you did the unthinkable. You beat the boat. You went undefeated. And so, when you got that qualifying schedule, how did you strategize for those very difficult matches?
So we first started with scouting preseason. We compiled like a list of all 35 teams qualifying and all those stats for auto and teleop and found those OPRs. And then when the qualification matches dropped, we put it into a table and found our alliance's OPR and found the opposing's OPR. We then found the difference between the two to predict like a rough estimate of how the match is going to play out.
And so after that, I think the night before, after we finished our impact presentations, we gathered the entire team in one hotel room. We hooked up one of our mentors' computers to the TV, and then we looked through, what are the most challenging matches that we were going to face, and what do those teams look like when they compete. So we pulled up different YouTube videos and whatnot, and compared that to what we know, and thinking about what can we do with this team, how can we beat this team, looking at the way that they play. And then the day of, we would go to those teams that we were with, and then we would offer as much support as we could, technically as well as programming wise, which I'm sure Peter can speak to. And then tried to make sure that they were as prepared as possible for that match.
Yeah. Just to add a little bit, I feel like one of our major advantages as a team is we went up to our alliance partners at least 3 matches before. For the big matches against Rock and Hawk, we spoke to them at the very start of the competition. We even texted them the night before. We found their contact information and we started playing far ahead. Because one of the big disadvantages we saw with our main opponent's match strategy was they generally show up to the matches and just saw how they played out. But we really want to find every possible way you can squeeze an advantage out of those matches. I'm really proud of how we did that.
Yeah. And I think one of the most amazing things that we can talk about is because we had that advantage of going up to those teams as early as we did. One of the matches we had with Rams, we were helping them with their autonomous period, and leading into the match, we hadn't seen as much success with their autonomous period as we had initially wanted to be able to really put up a fighting chance in that match. And then going into the actual match, their autonomous hit more than we had actually seen happen in our practice matches. So we really got lucky with that, and that really worked out well for us. So it was really fulfilling to be able to see that work out.
So I'm curious. You talked about the projections with OPR and the such. What did it project that you were going to win those matches against ROC and Hawk, or did it project you would win one of the two?
So with Hawk, we were predicted to lose 65, and against Hawk, we were predicted to lose 44 points.
Okay, so it did predict both of those losses.
And the interesting thing was going into those matches, the data that we actually had was from previous competitions. So it wasn't necessarily a fully updated version of either our alliance's robot or our opponent's robot. So there was definitely some variation that happened there, and that definitely worked out in our favor.
And so you're like after my heart right here, because this is, you can't change your robot at a competition and you can't change your partner's robots at a competition, but you can strategize, and scouting and strategy is the way to get a leg up. That's something I've been saying in my presentation for the past 20 years. And this is like the perfect example of how you do it. And I agree with you that most FTC teams don't effectively strategize for matches. I think it's a lot of, like you said, just kind of show up in the queue line and I'm going to do bucket and you're going to do specimens, and we're just kind of split the field or whatever, but not. And I saw you do some discrete little things like loading on the same side of the submersible as they're loading on, just to create a little bit of traffic and to kind of do a little bit there. And so I just thought it was really well played out. But then, so you see number 1 and you pick Hawk. And what was the experience like working with them for a team, who has been to the World Championship finals?
Yeah, for sure. Hawk, generally in the past, when we've spoken to teams like Hawk and Rock, they're very, compared to us, they're much more closed by their design. But I feel like a competition like this, because it was so competitively close, it was very interesting because they opened up their robot design to us and actually explained how their team works and how the process works. And I feel like we actually learned quite a bit from that. And because of our success, we were able to share a whole bunch more information that was formerly more like hidden away in the shadows.
That's very cool. And, like I want to get to the Inspire Award a bit, but that final match, and I don't know, Nadia, I know you mentioned you watched on the webcast. Did you see the final match?
I did.
It was it was nuts because it was a dead tie after auto. And so for those of you on the drive team, you're not watching the scores like we are, And so we're seeing the scores go up like it was just like tied and then tied again and tied again. And did you hear the excitement in the crowd during that match, or were you because you might have had that tuned out? I don't know. Did you hear that? Do you feel it?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the crowd was definitely loud during that match. We during the match themselves, we have our drive coach look at the numbers. We don't let it, he doesn't allow us to see the numbers at all. And but he definitely told our alliance partner Hawk that you got to climb right now, or we might not win the competition here. So, yeah, it was like come to Jesus moment.
That was the most electric I felt an FTC crowd ever in Ontario. And I've been to all the not all the tournaments, but at least all the provincials over the years, and there was just a special energy about that match. It was so cool, and so and obviously cool. And so then when the score came up on the big screen, how did you feel?
For me, at least, this is my sixth year doing, or I think it's my sixth year doing FTC. I've been doing it since Sky Sun, since released in Ontario. And we've put in hundreds and hundreds of hours over the years. This year alone, I put in at least 300 or 400 hours into the code. So honestly, just seeing the score go up and seeing we won the match was more of a relief than like an excitement, because it feels like we put in so much work that we kind of expected it to happen at this point. But
well, like I've been doing FTC for about 4 years, and our first experience was actually with DocX here in Sudbury. They swept the tournament, and when they were tallying up the total points, I was with our mentor. Actually, I was with Arian, and neither of us looked at the screen. We were just okay. We heard the sound of the block being placed, and we're okay. We're just gonna listen. We're gonna see what happens, and then from there we'll see where that goes. And well, we got lucky. It was Red Alliance, and so we didn't have to go much from there. So it was a really fulfilling moment. It was a good experience, especially because I know Arian. He's been putting in a lot of work, and he's wanted to see us advance on to Houston for about a decade now. So it has been a long time coming.
I want to back you up for a second. I want to back you up. You had some luck, but you didn't get lucky. You created your success. Now, we all need luck in our lives, in robotics and everything. And sure, you had some luck, but don't say you got lucky, because you earned this through your own merits and your efforts. Was there some luck along the way? Yes, but everyone has some luck along the way. Sorry, I cut something off. I think you were trying to say something in there.
I also want to say I've also been doing this for about 4 years. And given it is the last year for the majority of the members on the team, it's really, it's fulfilling to be able to see that, because if it wasn't going to happen there, then it wasn't going to happen for us. That was, the final straw, the last chance for us to be able to do something more and do something greater and go on to the world level competition, and to be able to see, our team name and our team number and our alliance had won that, and we were going off to Houston to do something more and to represent Canada on a world stage was a lot of honor. It was a lot of excitement, and I was really proud of the team.
Okay. We've talked a lot about the robot competition, but I think Nadia has some stuff about the Beyond the Robots.
Yeah, so you guys won the Inspire Award, and I was wondering what part of your team you guys think is the most inspirational.
Well, I would say the most inspirational part of our team is the fact that it's a student-led team. We started in this pipeline that we've been grown into and that we've enhanced. And now that we're in our senior years, we're now mentoring other students. We're mentoring younger students. We have our FLL teams that we help. We've expanded, actually next year, all elementary and secondary schools in our district will have robotics now, whereas 2012, when the program started, Llewellyn was the only school. When we were choosing for high schools, Llewellyn was the school for robotics. There was nothing else in Northern Ontario that we could access. And now, knowing that next year, with the addition of a few high schools and all 41 elementary schools now, we'll know that every student in Northern Ontario has the opportunity to take robotics and access that education.
It's pretty cool. It's fantastic. And the Inspire Award is such an honor. So you'd won the tournament already. Were you expecting Inspire, or was that just kind of catch you off guard?
So I definitely think we can all speak to this, that the night before the competition, we were like, you know what, I'll be happy with the second place Inspire. That would be great. And we go on. There was a certain point in the playoffs where we were thinking, okay, there's a legitimate chance we can win this. don't be too greedy. We don't want to inspire. And then so on, there would be one award called and the other award called and so on. And it wouldn't be us. So we're thinking, okay, so maybe this is possible. Maybe there's a chance. Maybe we can get third place Inspire. And then, seeing our team name there was crazy. It was, yeah.
Yeah. So for our 2 quals this season, we had put in a lot of effort to try and win that award just because we weren't sure how much we'd be able to compete in terms of matches wise. So we wanted to keep our options open in order to qualify for Houston. And both times we had fallen just short. We had gotten runner up. We have our 2 trophies in front of us here. We'd gotten runner up at both of our qualifying tournaments. And so when they were calling out the awards in between playoff matches, we kept passing around the phrase, it's not too ridiculous to say, we might get it. And the moment you called the final second place runner up for Inspire, I was like, okay, so we haven't gotten an award yet. It's not impossible we don't get one. And then you started talking about Inspire, and they still ring in my ears so far. You said the darts hit the board, and it clicked, and I was like, oh my god, did we actually? And then from then on, we've been on cloud 9.
It's fantastic. You deserve to be on cloud 9. It's just it's a great run. So normally I would ask a question like what's something you're proud of this season, but I want to talk about something specific. You have a swerve bot in FTC, which is incredible. Are there other swerve bots across FTC, or is it might be like 10 across the 6,000 teams?
So we were actually talking about this today. I think there have been other swerve drives across the world in FTC, but when it comes to to competing at the level that we're competing at, as far as we know, there is not another swerve drive that exists that can do that in the entire world. So there may be other teams that are working on that, or that there have been other teams that have done that, but presently I don't know if there's a team that exists that can do that.
I have to say, I was in your pit, looking at, I looked at it last year as well, and this year the evolution of it. It is the most compact, cool looking module. It's like a piece of art. Do you have the module there? I know you have the robot in front of you, but you have something you can show on the camera?
I don't think we have the module with us.
But okay, hold up the robot. Hold up and show us the underside of the robot. And if you want to bring it a little bit closer to the camera. That is wild. Like, Naja, isn't this blowing your mind away like a fellow FTC competitor?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we have on each wheel we have one Go Build a Yellow Jacket. It's a bare motor, but we gear externally to about 12.65 to 1. And then that's for the drive of the motor. And then for rotation, we have these Axon Mini servos. So these are brushless. They're titanium gears. They have a built-in analog absolute encoder. So there's definitely no expense spared on this robot. We did everything we could to get our maximum performance out of here.
And it's in this, like you said, it was super compact. So it's in this 12 inches by 12 inches space here. So it's been compact to that. And, a lot of people ask, what's the advantage of having that? Why use that? Because of the nature of the competition and the size of the field and how small things are, having a robot of that size and being compact like that makes it a lot more maneuverable, as well as the speed and traction that we get with a swerve drive. It's just, people see how fast it is because of its size and because of the speed. So, yeah.
Nadia, you got a question for the team?
Yeah, I'd love to know about something that you're proud of that you guys did this season.
Definitely the biggest thing personally that I'm proud of as the programmer is our autonomous. So at the start of the year, we were faced with no auto libraries in FTC are made for swerve of any capacity. So we decided at the start of the year, we'll try doing a pit to position like we did last year. And that worked fairly well for our first competition, but there's a lot of time lost waiting for the position tolerances to be in tolerance, and then we can move on to the next path. What we did is we wrote a custom peer pursuit implementation, like an adaptive peer pursuit implementation in Kotlin and FTC. So that allows us to follow a series of line segments that get smoothed out into a smooth path, and allows us to path at the speed that we need to score a 4-piece or even a 5-piece. You didn't see during the competition, but we had our 5-piece autonomous, which was like a 50-50 working in the back, just in case we really, really needed it. But luckily, we got away with just running our 4.
Well, you know what? You got a couple months to work on that 5-piece for Houston then. You're going to need that there. How excited are you about going to the championship in Houston?
It's something special. I mean, I don't know if we can really describe it in one word or one sentence, because it was, again, the last year, this was the final stand, we had to do this or nothing was going to happen, and to be able to pull that off and know that we can go and do that and represent our country and represent all the things that we've accomplished in our final year here, all the things that have culminated to that in the 7+ years that have been spent by certain team members or over a decade with some of our mentors. It's surreal. It's amazing.
So let me give you some advice for Houston. The biggest piece of advice I can give you is soak it all up. Talk to as many people as you can. This is your chance. And I know a lot of you are graduating, but there's knowledge to be passed on to the younger generation. So talk to those teams. But also, your pit's going to be busy because when people are going to want to talk about your swerve bot, so show that off. Have some pride and show that off, and represent Canada. And in terms of the competition, I mean, you know what to do right now. Start your scouting. Figure out, you won't know your divisions for a bit. Doesn't matter. Start building the database on all the teams. Start looking things up, and be ready for this because it's cool to just go there to compete, but you got something special going and you can do things a little more. Now, FTC Championship is hard, arguably harder than Worlds for FRC because of how few teams make the playoffs compared to FRC. So you've got to be on your game. So sell that robot hard, explain it to everyone, show it off. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, Karthik, we'll make sure to listen to your advice. I mean, during provincials, when you gave our mentor some advice, he passed it on to us. We listened to it, and something amazing happened. We'll see if we can do the same at Worlds.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it happen. I'm so excited. Just a comment in chat from none other than the First Tech Challenge program delivery partner and program manager for Ontario, Lisa Ramraj, says she's so proud of all of you, and I think that's the vibe. So everyone who's watching, we said this about Solvers of X and Y. Especially if you're an FRC team, because we know a lot of FRC teams get to go to champs. Get up to FTC, go up the escalator, go visit our friends from Llewellyn, root them on, cheer them on. It's going to be really, really exciting. And cheer on the other Canadian teams that are going there, like Robertix, Proteins, Hawk. We got a really strong contingent for FTC this year. And so I'm super, super excited. Very proud of you. And I know you're going to represent Ontario, represent Canada really well, but also got an FRC event in a couple weeks. So I'll be seeing you in Scarborough at Centennial College. That's going to be a good one. My advice for that event is there's a little convenience store behind, when you walk to like the little viewing area or whatever, it has the best Jamaican patties. So good. You got to make sure you get one. Best snack. I think they only charge $2.50 a pop. They are so, so good. Spicy Jamaican patty. Way to go. All right, folks, any last things you want to say to us or to the world?
I would just like to thank you for having us on the show today. We really appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak to you and everybody else and show off what we've accomplished. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for being here. You make this so special. Thank you again, Llewellyn Robotics, Team 16413, Inspire Award winner and tournament champions at the First Tech Challenge Ontario Provincial Championship. All right, Nadja, what a show, right?
Yeah, that was awesome. I feel like I should have been taking notes.
I'm just, like Houston's still, 2 months away, like a month and a half away, I guess. I'm excited already. I just want to watch Solvers of X and Y and Llewellyn and all the Canadian teams. And now we're going to FRC season. Nadja, are you going to make it out to any of the FRC events to volunteer?
I'm going to be at McMaster.
Nice. So we'll see the big robots in person. It's going to be a good time. All right, folks. Well, that's a wrap on tonight's show. We are back next week with a recap of the New Market event. Question in chat just asking about where the event picks are from provincials. They will be going up on the First Canada Flickr page. Don't know if they're up yet, but maybe Julia, if you want to drop the link to our Flickr into chat. I think it's like flickr.com/firstcanada, but don't quote me on that. Sometimes you get yours, but that's where the pictures are going to be, and they will be there at some point soon. I know our photographers are just trying to get everything processed and edited, get the lighting right and all those photos. There you go. Lisa's got the link for you. Always count on Lisa coming in clutch. All right, Nadja, it's going to be a good season. Thank you for co-hosting. Did a great job. And everyone, we are back next week with a recap of the New Market FRC event. But until then, also, if you want to watch the New Market FRC event, check it out on this Twitch channel, or we got a new thing going this year. If you go to firstroboticscanada.org/watchnewmarket, that'll automatically take you to the channel you need to be at. So you don't even need to remember where it is. But it's on First Canada this week too, which isn't that hard as well. Anyway, folks, it's been a slice. We will see everyone in a week. Good luck, everyone. Bye.